All right, we'll get started in just a minute. We're going to give everyone a chance to come in from the waiting room. Hello, everyone. We hope you're having a great day today. Welcome to today's webinar, ILTACON 2025 Housing, Badges, and Exhibitor Portal. Just a quick reminder that we are recording this webinar and we'll post it to the informational webinar page within about 24 hours, along with a copy of the slide deck. Also remember to use the chat or Q&A box for your questions. All right, welcome and thank you all for joining us. Today during this webinar, we're going to be reviewing some important dates, our new business partner portal, badges for ILTACON, and then we'll hear from our events team on specific information about the event space at Gaylord National, all housing information, and some save the dates. We'll also answer any questions you might have or come up with at the very end. On this call today, we're joined by our BP team, who's made up of Tyler Howes, Ashley Kowitz, Sharon Stewart, and myself, Courtney Oliver. And also our events team, who's made up of Dawn Hudgens, Jessica Likens, Tracy McCrae, and Melissa Camiso. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Sharon, and she's going to go over all of the upcoming important dates with you guys.
Thank you, Courtney. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. We have some important dates leading up to ILTACON, starting with registration and housing opening today, along with on-site volunteer opportunities also opening. More information on housing and registration will be provided later in this webinar. Currently, and running through next Friday, the 25th, the BP team has scheduled and is conducting booth selection calls for ILTACON. As a reminder, for your call, if you haven't already had it, please be prepared with alternative selections for booth space, as well as other sponsorship opportunities offered in the prospectus. Please be sure to reserve your allocated rooms at the Gaylord by Monday, June 2nd. On June 3rd, any unreserved rooms will be released back to ILTA. There is no penalty for any rooms not reserved within your allocated block. If you're planning to host an event for clients and/or prospects at the Gaylord, please be sure to submit the space request form no later than June 27th. Another key date is July 11th, as the ILTACON housing block will be closing that day. And on July 23rd, we will have our final webinar outlining what to expect at ILTACON. We encourage all BPs to have registration completed prior to arriving on site at ILTACON, but if that is not possible, on-site registration will open on August 10th. Lines on site do tend to be long, so if possible, please have your team finalize registration prior to arriving. In addition to today's webinar, we have 3 more informative webinars coming up in the next few months, starting with the May 7th webinar, where we will discuss in specific detail event space, the GES service kit, and booth orders. New this year, we are also hosting a webinar geared specifically towards our Startup Hub program, which anyone is welcome to join. We will have a guest speaker who will discuss lead gen, marketing, booth etiquette, along with sharing tips and tricks for making ILTACON successful for you and your team. Our last webinar, What to Expect at ILTACON, will take place on July 23rd and is one you won't want to miss. Each webinar planned walks you through everything you need to know leading up to ILTACON 2025 at Gaylord National, including in-depth information on important topics such as housing, which we will also be discussing on this webinar, badge assignment, GES services, booth orders, and much more, along with answering any questions you have. All webinars are recorded, and the recording, along with the slide deck, will be posted on the ILTACON website and can be found at the link provided on this slide. With that, I will now turn it over to Ashley to discuss the Business Partner Portal, a one-stop shop for all things ILTACON.
Thank you, Sharon. Hello, all. Thank you once again for joining us today as we are officially underway for ILTACON. To assist with your ILTACON planning, we have revamped the business partner portal. Please note this is a live site and will be regularly updated as more information becomes available. Next slide. To log into the site, you will need to utilize your login credentials, your ILTA login credentials, your email address and password. Once logged in, you'll be able to see general announcements that are relevant throughout the course of the year. Please note that anyone within your organization can have access to the business partner portal, as you realize that there are sometimes various contacts for different events and roles. Since we are in ILTACON preparations, I'm going to focus on the events/ILTACON tab. Next slide. As you can imagine, the business partner team is actively having booth selection calls, so that is our top announcement. As Courtney will cover shortly, comp benefits will be available beginning May 5th. On May 5th, you may click on the comp benefits button to begin assigning your badges. Reminder also on this button is to be sure you are registered for all upcoming webinars. And the click information will be forthcoming. Next slide. We have compiled all current forms for you to submit any necessary information. We will be adding the housing form for you as well. Additionally, we have compiled helpful documents to help you prepare for ILTACON. Should you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to your designated account rep or to the sponsor inbox. And with that, I will turn it over to Courtney to discuss badge assignments.
All righty. As Ashley stated, starting on May 5th, all of your badges will be loaded onto your account, and you'll be able to assign them to your staff that will be attending ILTACON. First, you're going to want to go and sign in to our new portal. At the top of the screen, you'll see the events tab, and it will give you all of our event options this year. So you'll click on ILTACON, and it'll take you to the ILTACON page. From there, you'll want to click the comp benefits button that's on the left-hand side of the screen. This will then take you to your page where you can assign badges. If you have any issues, I've included a link to our step-by-step tutorial, and you can also reach out to me directly with any questions. All right. So this year for ILTACON, we're providing more badge options to provide more flexibility for all of our partners. We will still have our weekly badge option for $1,400 that will include attendance Sunday through Thursday. We are also offering a Tuesday through Thursday badge for your reps who may only be coming on the days that the exhibit hall is open. This badge is $900 and it does not include access to the Monday night exhibit hall opening reception. We're also offering a day pass for $350 and a strictly demo rooms or suite badge that will be $500 for the week. Please keep in mind this badge will not allow you into the exhibit hall where all food and beverage provided by ILTA will be. Not included on this slide, we are also offering a setup and tear down badge for your staff for $200. This will be good on Sunday until Monday at 4 p.m. and then Thursday starting at noon. And I'm going to hand it back over to Jessica to talk about all the event information.
Thanks, Courtney. We are very excited for ILTACON 2025. I'm super eager to get the announcement out, which may be going out as we're on this call, that we are officially live for registration and housing. But of course, we wanted to share with you some key details related to ILTACON 2025. Our primary host hotel is the Gaylord National Resort and Convention Center. All of our main events will take place inside of this building, even though we are spreading out and taking over the entire harbor, which we'll get into here shortly. As a friendly reminder, the closest airport near our conference location is Ronald Reagan. So when you're booking your flights, make sure you're looking into flying into that location. And don't forget to check out our discount options that we have arranged with several airline partners for ILTACON 2025. At the Gaylord, as mentioned, all of our event space will be hosted here. In our shades of green, you can see where education will take place. In orange is where all of our demo rooms are available for you to purchase. In pink is the keynote area that will actually be combined with this C&D portion for our opening, and then it will split into more education rooms. On the other side of the facility, we have the Cherry Blossom Ballroom. I want to point that out as lots of company updates and master classes will be taking place in there. We've got more education to drive attendees over to this area because, as you can see in orange, we have lots of demo rooms here as well. These Eastern Shore rooms down here are actually on the bottom level of the hotel, kind of sit by themselves, but this is where our G100, G200, and corporate legal day will take place. Finally, at the very tippy top, we do have our National Harbor conference rooms. We've got lots of demos up there, and then of course, education to drive traffic to that area. And lastly, you can find a mother's room and a silence/prayer room up on this top floor as well for your use during ILTACON. So if you haven't gotten the message yet, we are going with a pirate theme, and so excited to incorporate this into the events in August. So please keep that in mind as you're doing your planning, especially for the exhibit hall. We are pirates all week long. It will be a swashbuckling week of innovation, connection, and discovery. Main events hosted by ILTA outside of our educational sessions, of course, is our Sunday opening reception, our captain's welcome this year. Join. This is a great opportunity for you to mingle with members and start to build those relationships for a great week. Monday night exhibiting hall opening will be our Pirates Bounty, where attendees can chart their course through your innovations, discover hidden gems, and parlay with each of you to uncover solutions to their challenges. Lastly, on Thursday evening, we have our sailor send-off. Last year, we had an awesome turnout for the closing reception. We are so excited to do that again this year. So I know traditionally a lot of you leave on Thursday after that exhibit hall opens, but we encourage you to come toast the week and enjoy this closing reception with all of us and the membership. Monday's keynote will be Ryan Campbell. You guys, he is so awesome. He has an amazing story about being diagnosed as a paraplegic, overcoming that, prioritizing joy. This is a cannot miss Monday keynote. And then on Wednesday, we'll be hearing from Reena Singh Gupta, who is a huge innovator in the industry. She has worked on a lot of groundbreaking initiatives in the legal sector specifically. Next, we're going to get to the subject of the hour, which is housing. So as mentioned previously, we are taking over the harbor. There are so many fantastic restaurants scattered around the area. The footprint is small. We will have a very robust Show Your Badge program for local restaurants. So if you're not able to get into something at the Gaylord for dining, please feel free to venture out into the harbor. It's adorable and they are fantastic partners and looking forward to welcoming all of you in August. This is a map of our footprint. So you can see that we've got the Hampton Inn, Residence Inn, Westin, AC, Hyatt Place, MGM, and Harborside. That's all in addition to the Gaylord. So only about half of our rooms this year will be at the Gaylord. So keep that in mind to have your people scattered across the area to make sure that they're able to stay with members as well. We will have transportation provided all day of every conference day, and it will circulate continuously. So keep that in mind that if you are at the MGM or the Harborside, we will have rotating transportation for you. The rest of these are walkable for the most part. If you're like me and in August, I don't want to walk anywhere. So of course our transportation will stop and grab you from those hotels as well. Once again, this just outlines all of our partner properties. And then I want to take a minute to talk about the Gaylord. So I know everyone is going to want to be as close to the activity as possible. In an effort to maintain that we have rooms allocated for our business partners and our membership, we have split the block in half and pre-allocated some rooms to each of you to make sure that you have fair access to the Gaylord. So we have pre-allocated blocks based on your sponsorship tier, with ILTAMAX getting 16, Titanium 12, Platinum 8, Gold 6, Silver 4. So these have been built. Those rooms are held aside and not available for anybody else to book other than you. You should have received a unique code along with the housing link from our BP team so that you can access these rooms and start booking them. They are live. The plan is to hold these blocks until June 2nd. So we ask that you go in and make your reservations for how many rooms you are going to need by that day. Any unused inventory after June 2nd will be assumed as not needed, and it will be released back to members and other ILTA attendees to be able to book. So if anything's going on, you need an extension on that, make sure that you reach out to us at housing@iltanet.org. And keep in mind also that you don't have to have names for all of these. We're going to go through the booking process. So if you haven't decided who's coming, but you know you're using all 8 of your rooms, you can still move forward with that process and confirm that block for us. As mentioned earlier, there is no penalty for rooms left unused in your allocated block after that June 3rd date. They'll simply be released for other people to be able to book. However, keep in mind that if you do reserve a room, even if it's under a hold name, and you receive a confirmation number, any room canceled after booked will be issued a $50 cancellation fee. So getting these rooms booked, wanted to run through this with you so that you have a good step-by-step guide on making these reservations. You should be pretty familiar with Passkey. Candidly, most of our hotel partners use this. The only difference this year is that we are having all hotels live in one Passkey portal for you. Obviously, the other big change is you having an individual block that is protected and held for your company specifically. So when you click on the link, you will see a box for you to enter that unique access code that you should have received already. Please note that that code is case sensitive, so be sure to copy and paste it in there exactly as it was sent over. And then you'll just click make reservation. If for whatever reason you're coming in to manage an existing reservation, you'll just click that manage existing reservation button at the bottom. But right now we're talking about booking new rooms. So you'll hit make reservation. Then you're going to enter your reservation requirements. So you'll provide a check-in and check-out date, how many rooms you want to book, and then how many guests per room. So a couple of things here. First and foremost, each of your blocks are for the 10th to the 14th. We do have limited inventory on days outside of those key conference dates. I know most of you do not need those extra rooms, but you do have the ability to book them through your block. Just please keep in mind that they are limited. The way we have to work our contracts with our hotel partners, we don't reserve the entire block for those early nights because we know not everybody comes. So you'll add in your check-in and check-out date. How many rooms here? So if you have 8 rooms in your allocated block, you can book up to 8 rooms at one time. So whatever your allocated block is, you can book all of those in one swoop. Keep in mind, you are also welcome to just share that link and access code with the people who need to book their rooms, and they can do it themselves and just do one reservation at a time. Then guests per room. If you're planning on loading in, 2 or 4 people into each room, just go ahead and set that to be the maximum occupancy. You will be able to change that later. Now, throughout all of our screenshots and throughout the entire housing platform, you're going to see this pop-up cube here asking about needing a block of rooms. This is for anything above and beyond your allocated block. It will have to be placed outside of the Gaylord, but that is where you can request that, and we'll get those additional rooms added into your existing block that can be booked with that access code. On our next page, it's going to show us the hotel options that we have in our block. Right now, you should all be seeing just the Gaylord because we have not started with the sub-block additions. So you will simply select that hotel. If for whatever reason you had booked an additional block, you would see that hotel as well in there and decide which one you wanted to book. You'll hit select and then next. Keep in mind before you move on, down at the bottom of each hotel, if you have multiple hotels in your block, you wind up securing that, there are specific key details related to the property. So resort fee, valet, self-parking, internet, what deposits are required, what deposits aren't required. So just wanted to highlight that more information on each hotel can be found there. All right, so then moving forward with your reservation, what you're going to do is, especially in an instance where you are booking multiple rooms for your people, which again, you do not have to do, you can simply share the link and access code and they can do it themselves. But if you're going in and booking these rooms, first you're going to enter your personal contact information, not the room information, but your reservation, your information as that point of contact, right? You're going to get all of the notifications for the confirmation numbers, etc. So you will enter that at the bottom of the page. There is a special requests tab. Wanted to call that out in case anybody is looking for a specific double or single occupancy room, either a king or double bed. Some of our properties do not commit to room types. So please make sure to enter special requests relating to how many beds you need, or maybe you need a feather-free room or close to the elevator, whatever it may be, there is that special request field. You'll hit next. And now again, if you are booking for multiple people, you will be taken to this page. So you can enter, no, wrong way. You can enter all of their details. You can edit it, their check-in and checkout date. You can edit how many guests are in there. So if you decide, okay, no, this room's only going to have one person, you can do that. If you click on these three dots, you can actually update even more information related to each individual listed and change payment types for the rooms. Then you will click next. Wanted to circle back in case we have the link shared with everybody individually, it looks just a little bit different. Instead of having to enter their primary information and then break down each room, they'll simply just enter their guest information and then their payment. Once a reservation has been booked, you will receive an acknowledgement email from our housing platform. Please review this email carefully and make sure everything looks correct. Please note that sometimes these emails will get caught in spam filters. They're automated out of the platform. So if you're not seeing it, reach out to us at housing@iltanet.org and we will be happy to forward you a copy of your acknowledgement. Note that in this email, you will also have a link to modify or cancel a reservation. You can do that there or by logging back into the main portal and selecting that modify existing reservation button. Very key detail here. Because all housing is being managed within ILTA, we will have all of those reservations until July 21st. So you will make changes to your reservations in our portal until that day. If you call the hotel before July 21st, they will not have record of your reservation. But rest assured, if you've received an acknowledgement number from our portal, your reservation is confirmed and secured. After that July 21st date, all reservations will be, all reservation changes will be made with the hotels directly. And we'll have some verbiage coming out reminding you of that as the date gets closer. Now, I know we talked a little bit about this already, but I know many of you may purchase additional badges and need to secure additional housing for them. So you do have the opportunity to request housing at some of our other hotel properties. You can go in and request hotels specifically here. A member of our housing team will review this, get you set up with a block and get them added so that they can be booked using that same code that you book the rest of your rooms. Keep in mind that for the subblock request form, a credit card must be provided to guarantee these requests. We will use these in the case where perhaps you have a rooming list and you want it all to go on a master bill, etc. Also note that any additional badges must be purchased and paid for in order for you to secure the additional rooms. So we do have an auditing process where our team will confirm that if you're requesting 10 rooms at the AC, you have purchased and paid for those 10 additional badges. And as mentioned, they can be combined and accessed using your access code, but we could create an entirely new block for you if you didn't want that to be bookable using the same access code. So let us know in the special request fields. We will set deadlines for these blocks. We're going to shoot for 2 weeks. Again, this is just to make sure that we are giving everybody, all ILTA attendees, the opportunity to book rooms, not just at the Gaylord, but in the hotels right across the street. So we'll work with each of you who puts in that request on that deadline, but keep in mind it will be limited. And then we will accept requests for additional room blocks until June 10th. All right, I want to pause there before we go into space requests and just take some questions over the housing portion. All right, looks like Elizabeth asked for the link. Ashley has shared that. Jordan asked, it's a 4-night minimum. Yes, we are. We do have a 4-night minimum at the Gaylord. If there is a situation where you have somebody that's coming for 3 nights, please reach out to us and we can take a look at that. But again, we want to make sure that these prime hotel rooms are being utilized by people who are going to spend the most time there. Talia asked, is it possible to view rates for the hotel blocks before booking additional blocks? Absolutely. Absolutely. In our housing guide, we'll make sure to have a breakdown of what the room rates are at each hotel. Where would we locate our unique access code? Like Ashley already responded that. You should have received or will be receiving an email from Courtney titled ILTACON 2025 Housing. Joe asks, can we book the rooms for our extra people prior to getting everyone their badges before paying for our extra people? Unfortunately, no. We are not able to allocate any rooms within the ILTA block to members or business partners until the registration or additional badge has been purchased and paid for. Okay, and then Abigail asked about the subblock request form. Has it been posted? It will be in this presentation for you. And then the form will also be on your portal, your dashboard, to access.
Jessica, there's 2 more questions in the Q&A.
Mhm.
Are subblocks accepted on a first come, first served basis?
So until May 1st, they will be based on booth lottery, or I'm sorry, the subblock request. Yes, you are correct. Those are on a first come, first serve basis. So if you are bringing additional people, it is imperative that you are ordering those additional badges and getting those invoices paid for as quickly as possible so that we can get those rooms allocated to you.
And then the other question was, do we have a nightly rate for the Hampton? I see it's on our housing, but I don't see the nightly rate listed on our website for the housing website.
Let me take a look at that and we'll make sure to get that updated on the website today. So check back later on the ILTACON website and we'll make sure to have that rate posted. And it looks like Ashley also dropped the link to the passkey subblock request form in there. All right. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move on then. Last call for questions about housing for now. Otherwise, we can circle back at the end of the webinar. But next, we're going to talk about space requests. So we know that a lot of you like to host special events during ILTACON. So we do have that space request form. I believe that's already been distributed. So please get that filled out and completed. We do start processing all applications on Friday. And our events team will start reaching out with room assignments for those of you that are wanting to book meeting space on May 1st. We will communicate the needs of your events with our hotel partners, and you can expect to start hearing from the Gaylord and other hotel partners May 14th. The deadline to complete a request to use space at ILTACON is June 27th. Please note that space will be secured on a first come, first served basis after April 18th. Any forms received before April 18th will be assigned based on booth lottery order. So keep that in mind. Go ahead and get those space request forms in. And again, those will start on the 18th, well, after the 18th, being processed on a first come, first served basis order. Keep in mind that any meetings or event requests for the Gaylord, the Westin, or the Residence Inn must submit this form. Other than those properties, you are welcome to make event arrangements directly with those facilities, whether it's a different one of our partner hotels, the CVB has a lot of great space, or you're looking at a local restaurant. You do not need to submit a form, and ILTA does not need to approve that. That is just for space requests at the Gaylord, the Westin, or the Residence Inn. And keep in mind that submission of this form does constitute agreement to our event hosting guidelines, which we have linked for you here. Last reminder with that is please do not host events during the following windows. They will not be approved. And in the spirit of partnership, we want to make sure our attendees are not being pulled in multiple directions during these key times. So orientation and opening reception on Sunday, obviously our Monday keynote, exhibit hall opening reception, our Wednesday keynote, our Thursday keynote, which is the G100, G200 wrap up, and then of course our annual member luncheon on Thursday as well. And let's see here. Looks like Ashley did drop the link to that space request in the chat. So we'll wrap up with some important reminders and some future ILTACON dates. So really, really important reminder here is about housing poachers. We see this every year. People see that ILTACON's going to a city and it's a big event, and they start soliciting members or people who could be in that community attending, trying to get them to book rooms through them. So they're housing poachers. They are not managing housing. They do not have access to any rooms at the Gaylord. Candidly, we have a full buyout, and they are not allowed to be booking at any of our partner hotels per contractual agreements. If you book a reservation through one of these housing poachers, our hands are tied. We do not have the ability to help reverse that. The reservation may or may not be honored. So please don't fall for that. If it's not a link coming from ILTA, if you're not hearing from someone with an ILTA email address, it is not legitimate. So please let us know if you do get any of those solicitations, so we can have our legal team work on it. Along that same lines, we do not sell attendee lists. You are entitled to that list with your sponsorship, but we do not have any sales programs for that. So anybody claiming to be offering that is a hoax. Please let us know again so that we can address it accordingly. And you can forward that email to really anybody. Your business partner rep is fine. Events@iltanet.org, housing@iltanet.org. Just get it to somebody over here and we'll triage it through our team. And then future Gaylords. Future ILTACONs, not Gaylords. There's a lot of those on the screen there. So 26 and 27, we're back in Nashville. 28, we are down in Orlando. 29, we're back at the National Harbor. 30, we skip back down to Orlando, and then 31 back at the National Harbor. So we will get pretty familiar with all of these locations. Excited for a fantastic 2025 ILTACON and already starting the planning efforts for 26 and beyond. Okay, want to take a look at the questions here. We have a question. Can you please repeat or post here for clarity about the space request form? It was mentioned something that needs no approval. Just want to be sure. Great question. We must receive approval for anything at the Gaylord, the Weston National Harbor, or the Residence Inn. If you're hosting an event anywhere else, you do not have to get our approval. And you also do not need to submit a form. Jordan asked, is there a 4-night minimum for those sleeping rooms? As mentioned earlier, at the Gaylord, there is a 4-night minimum. The closer hotels surrounding it, there is a 3-night minimum. We are making sure that these prime rooms are going to be utilized by people who are going to be on site for the long haul and doing the most walking back and forth. So we do have those 4-night minimums. If you have a block where somebody is not able to stay for the entire time, please reach out to us. If they need to leave on the 3rd day instead of the 4th, let us know. And we can take a look at that case by case. All right. Any other questions? The team seeing anything in Q&A? Liz asks, am I able to register all my attendees or do they have to do it themselves? This is a great question. Courtney, do you want to answer this?
Yeah, of course. Liz, you can assign them badges, but all of your attendees need to register themselves.
Thanks, Courtney. Any other questions? So if we have our allocated rooms at the Gaylord, we just need to make sure we confirm the rooms before June 2nd. Correct, Hayden. And you can do that if you've got everybody's name, awesome. You can plug those names into those rooms or share the link and have them book their own rooms if they're paying with individual credit cards. But you just need to book them by June 2nd. Anything you haven't booked by June 2nd, we will assume is not needed unless we hear from you. Melissa says, we have not received the passcode to book a room. Will that email be sent today? Melissa, I'll have our team take a look. I know that there were just a few remainders to go out, so. Jordan says, if we are hosting an event, confirming that we will not have contact with anyone at the hotel until the 14th. That is correct. And Jordan, that even goes further. The hotel, the Gaylord, will start reaching out at the 14th for all space requests that we have placed. Demo rooms, hospitality suites, and booth installations. So just in years past, all that information will get over there. They haven't, with their workflow on their end, and existing business, we set that date to make sure that we're giving our business partners the attention that they need. Ian says, I know you mentioned that specific hotels do not need prior authorization, but those are scheduled on nights. Correct. So even if you're booking an event at a property or hotel or restaurant that does not require our authorization, please still adhere to the times that we're asking for people not to host events. Again, we are excited about these. We've invested money into those special events. And we really think it's going to add a lot of value to their time at ILTACON. And candidly, we would hate for people to not go to your event because there is already something big happening that is hosted by ILTA. Megan, looks like Ashley's already responded to you in the chat. Not sure if it's already been dropped in there, but I am gonna put in the housing at iltanet.org email address into the chat. If you have any additional questions regarding housing, or if you're having any challenges, please reach out to either us or your VP rep. And then Hayden asks to look at this again, 2028, it is the 6th through 10th of August in Orlando. Anybody else? Aaron says, can we purchase additional badges but not have them assigned yet? Absolutely. So long as those badges are purchased and paid for, we don't care if there's a name on them or not. We know that you're bringing that number of people, and we could go ahead and process that sub-block request at that time. All right. Again, if anybody thinks of something, please reach out to us. We're here to support you. We're so excited for ILTACON 2025 and so grateful for your partnership. Thanks, everybody, and have a great day.